Hi everyone, and welcome to the other block episode of Heroes Inclusion. My name is Daniel Fedor, and here today I'd like to discuss on our most great block episode. But before we talk about that on today's block, please make sure you subscribe button for YouTube channel, follow on Instagram with Official Heroes Inclusion and Facebook for Heroes Inclusion. But until then, I would like to go ahead to discuss and talk about the most exciting block here today. I wanted to share with everybody. Alright guys, so today I do want to let you know, it is something to do with fitness, but at the same time, it is something to do with education. And I decided to share the block with you guys here today. I want to just remind you that I am officially an ASM, a performance enhancement specialist certification. So I wanted to say I'm officially a PES, stands for Performance Enhancement Specialist certification. It means I'm going to tell you what it's about. It's more like training with athletes, and you train the athletes between high school or college. It's kind of like similar to strength conditioning, but it's more like sports performance coach. So I wanted to say I earned that, and I wanted to thank the NSM for giving me this opportunity for me to take this course, because that course really means a lot. And I have to say that NSM performance enhancement had to be the most popular certifications on today's personal training industry today. But as you know, I'm already in personal trainer, so I wanted to say how there's a lot of questions in mind, so I'm gonna go over the tips. It's gonna be really short. I'm not gonna get too much in details, but I'm gonna show you how I pass the NSM PES certification, and I'm gonna tell you how do you get that certification, and let's go along the way. So let's get started. So I wanted to say, number one, it will be any requirements for taking NASM PES. Well, it says it is not a requirement, but it is recommended to get the certification. So what you say, if you have a 4-year college degree, let's say you have exercise science or physical education, or you just want the certification, even if you have a college degree, then you go for the certification. But if you have the NASM CBT, like me, because I have the personal trainer certification through NASM, then I am eligible to take these courses. So that's what I've been through. So if you have a CPT or college degree or massage therapist or whatever case you may be, then this certification is for you. If you already took the NASM CBT before, then you maybe know the program design and exercises and also assessments, what you know from the NASM CBT. So you pretty much you knew about it, but there are also different types of certification as well. There's also different types of education that you may take, but this is a different type of certification. So it takes a lot of study through. So without further ado, that was the tip number one. That's how you take the NSM PDS. So if you're a strength conditioning coach, right? Let's say if you have a strength conditioning, right? This is a really great certification to get. If you don't have a degree, the best thing you do is if you have a CPT NASM, then this is the best way to go. So I really recommend to get this certification if you're looking to train more athletes. That is for when you train for athletes. So that was tip number one. Tip number two, how to study smart. So I'm going to show you right here. How to study smart is simple. I want to show you that I got a hard copy book, which is called a second edition of Essential Sports Performance Training. This is a really good book. So when I read this book, right, you just have to understand the chapters. You have to go through the chapters. And just like I said, you can't just study the entire day. It takes weeks to study. It may usually take like about 8 to 12 weeks to study or 10 weeks to study, how long does it take to finish it. But you know one thing is you just have to go follow through the chapters and even going through the modules as well. You want to make sure you watch the videos and make sure you have a fully understand what the performance assessment with program design, the assessments, and the human body, how this works. Especially they discuss about injury prevention as well. So you want to check out the most important step is I show you right here. You want to check the human bodies right here. And also the assessments. That's very important part. When you're a personal trainer or a coach, right? It's very important to train the clients with the assessments. So without assessments, then the client will not get this far because it was a lack of results of it. So it's very important to focus on assessment and program design. Instead of focus on random workouts, it's very important to focus on a program design, what to do on training athletes. Especially you have some idea for the program exercise, what you want to teach for the clients to do. So that is very important to have. And for me, even though most people start with the ebook, but I feel like this book is a high recommended. It gives you more time to study. It gives you more time to realize what could be on the final exam. So I just want to let you know these books could be a base on final exam. So that will be a very important step. And especially you have to do some quiz because that's what's going to help you have a good acknowledgement while you study with the module. So quizzes, it is must thing to have. And especially, you would definitely need to focus on what you need to do to study, and especially the study guide as well. You also want to focus on the study guide. So very important step. You want to make sure you do some quizzes, go through the chapters, and focus, watch the bonus videos. Because when you have the pre-med self-study, because I got a pre-med self-study when I'm studying for the PDS certification, it's kind of important to have the bonus between understanding the module, the basketball, with baseball and football. They have videos, bonus videos they have. So you want to make sure you watch them about how does a muscle work, how they work with mechanics, with the athletes, and how you demonstrate the athletes by performing these type of the exercises. So I feel like it is very important to have. So I chose the pre-med self-study because it is important to have. So that is the number one. And I mean, that's number two. That was my bad on that. I might miss part. But anyway, moving on. Very important tip, number three. I would say flashcards with these. I'm showing you for a sample. You know, like I say, if you have a hard time to study or it's something you need help with, if you're not study person, right? If you're not educated person, you know what I would do is focus on the flashcards. Focus on the flashcards, what you know, and make sure you take your time to take the flashcards. That way you have a better understanding what the definition is, and you make sure you flashcard with it. You could do it by definition like I'm doing. Let's say, for example, what's the ability to generate the force as quickly as possible? The answer is power. See, because you want to make sure you review these flashcards before the final exam. So it is a must-have. But like I say, if you knew how to study, then you want to make sure you take a time to study. So that's why it's very important to stay smart, to do study smart. So that would be flashcards. And then tip number 4, there will be practice exams and final exam. Yes, I know it can get overwhelming, but I want to show you something very unique and very simple that you must have, and I really recommend it. I recommend to download this app called Pocket Prep, NASM, PDS pre-med certification tests, because this is going to help you what does look like in a final exam. So this is a must-have, and this is a good way to to take practice exams, because like I say, practice exams, not all the questions are going to be the same. They're going to be different types of questions with similarities. The questions are going to be tricky, and the questions are going to be difficult. But it is definitely worth to have the pocket prep if you have a hard time to practice exams. If you feel like you're ready, if you knew something as a sports performance coach, then take that certification test. So like I say, the pocket prep kind of really helped me out. So I wanted to say it did help me out, and able to take help questions to know what's like on the exam between right answers to wrong answers. But I took the time for it, and it was totally worth it. So for your final exam, I have to say, for your final exam, well, before to that, make sure you take many times of practice exams. And you need to take it at least 1 or 2 times or 3 times to take practice exams. You have to take at least practice exam 1 and practice exam 2. And you want to make sure you get enough practices as much as you can. And I know taking a final exam, it is very hard part. But you want to make sure you plan out to do the final exam in the advance. You want to make sure you're fully ready. You want to make sure you don't have any plans that day. Focus on taking a final exam in this comfort home or somewhere quietly. Don't do it someplace in the publicly, because I know this final exam doesn't take it in a testing center. You only take it in the final exam right here in this comfort home. So you want to make sure you have the time and make a dedication to study, and make sure you have a dedicated your time to prepare for your final exam, because that's exactly what you're going to need for your final exam. But what is the passing way to earn the PES certification is 70%. And I got like 72% I passed. So I'm going to tell you something. That final exam was not that easy. It was a very hard test, but I earned that because I really wanted to earn that specialized certification for me to continue training athletes, to do what I love, which is I train with sports, and I want to continue to make the best effort to work in soccer, to work in any other types of sports with any other athletes. That's why I really want this certification. That's why just wanted to say I'm really glad I passed that exam, because I know that was very difficult to take the exam. And yeah, like I say, if you don't pass it, just make sure you call the end of the exam. So like I say, I passed it, I passed that certification, and it was totally worth it. So yeah, guys, as coming in conclusion for this video, but before I will leave, I want to say one last review. The conclusion for this video is I want to give my last thoughts on the NASM Performance Assessment Certification. Is I'm really enjoy with the study, and I really enjoy what they help me able understanding what training athletes with program design. They have like so many types. This is what they do with including the program designs, the nutrition, psychology, injury prevention. And since I do play sports, right, I need to get at least a better understanding what this certification really means, and help me understand to train with athletes. And it is definitely worth the opportunity. And I want to be able to take this time to read this book. And I just want to say I really love what they've done, and it is a pretty worth other gold standard of this certification, and it's really great for personal trainers. However, it may not be for everyone, but I know this certification, if you're looking to train with athletes, if you love sports, if you love this kind of athletes you want to train with, if you know about NDSM, then this certification is for you. So I feel like this certification is totally the best. I'll say, in my opinion, even though CPT is a popular program, but for me, in my opinion, this performance assessment had to be one of my favorite certifications to get through NASM. And I'm really thankful for that, for giving me this opportunity after I was eligible to take this certification classes. So it was totally worth it, and I really love it. And I wanted to say thank you to NASM. All right, guys, I think I'm going to wrap up here today's On Heroes Inclusion block, and that's all the tips and news for today. Just remember one thing. My final message is, if you have the mindset to study, if you want to earn this certification like NASM, PDS, whatever you do, my piece of advice is do not let procrastination get the best of you. Make the time you study your top priority. Because that's very important at the end of the day. You need make your study your top priority and study smart. Not just study hard, study smart. I told everyone, thanks for joining in. I'm Daniel Fedor, and I'll see you on the next block. Until then, everyone, take care and have a nice day. Peace.